Greetings, YouTubers. It is Tuesday, September 18th? I think it's 18th. I'm going to be leaving tomorrow. Right now I'm still camped at the base of Blanca Peak. It's just, probably 15 miles, 20 miles tops from east of Alamosa. Alamosa is really close to town. So you've got, grocery shopping. There's a Walmart there, and I think I've seen some RVs camped there. Although I didn't check to see if they were allowed, but I saw some that were kind of out on the fringes that looked like they might have been stopped for a night. It's a BLM land, free, no reservations. There's three main campsites. There's one, I'm going to call it about maybe 3/4 of a mile that way. And it's kind of a large area. I don't know if you can see the perimeter around me, but it's large like this one. And then there's another one that's like back up the hill. I don't know if you can make out that there's a small camper, white camper up there, and that's another large area very similar to this one. So it's a lot of space. The problem is that on the weekends, and sometimes even during the week, people will just pull in and camp here. So there's only those three big ones. There's a whole bunch of camping. If you follow this road up, it gets pretty rough though. So people with RVs and that kind of stuff probably aren't going to get up there. So these three spaces are probably pretty much about it. And I seem to recall reading on the sign coming in that you have to kind of camp in designated areas, kind of like this. So sometimes you've got people like camped right outside your doorstep. I mean, and the thing that I found a little more irritating is that the front of my trailer is out that way, so there's no doors or windows out there, and people didn't park out there. They parked out here. Like, here's my door. So there's my door, and then they'd park, like right out here. Or I have a ramp back. I don't know if you can see that. So there's my ramp is out here, or they'll camp right outside my ramp, right in front of the mountain. So I've got this wonderful view of Blanca Peak, and there'll be like trucks parked there, and they'll unload their their four-wheel drive vehicles and stuff like that. So and there's bovine wastes all throughout this area, and it attracts flies, so there's quite a bit of flies. Some of them are biting flies. So those are detractors. If you've looked online at any place that I post, and there's a number of them. I have a Flickr site, a Facebook site. Nod Yiliab is my Flickr site. I have a RedBubble site where I've posted some of my better photographs, my Flickr site is Nomad, YesHappy also, so it's under the same name. You can find it that way. And then I post in some of the Facebook groups and things like that. I'm going to turn the camera here for just a second so you can see this sunset, because it kind of plays into where I'm about to go with my explanation. Yeah, I guess you can't quite get the full impact of it with that sunset. But the atmospheric conditions here have been phenomenal. There's the moon up above my trailer there, and this is kind of an ugly day. The light just on the tip of Blanca Peak there, and clouds over the mountain, and starting to pick on some color from the setting sun. So one of the things that are really attractive about the site that I found to be exceptional positives are these sunsets and the weather that comes over Blanca Peak. So behind me, thunderstorms were forming east of there, and then coming over the peak, and they'd come out in this explosion of clouds, and as you saw when I spun the camera around, in almost any direction. I mean, you can see for miles. Miles and miles and miles. And you can see the world coming at you. You can see the weather and the sky and the clouds. And I got some photographs of rainbows and some really beautiful thunderstorms. We got some rain, which was nice, kind of kept the dust down. So I would camp here again. I mean, I now know that I'm going to have company, and I think what I would do next time is, if you look right out here, probably too far away for you to see, but there's a fire pit out here. So I think I would camp out there because the prairie is out that way, and nobody can camp out there in front of you. So I think I would probably do that differently, and maybe I'd have a little more privacy and space and all of that. The stars. Oh my goodness. The stars have just been incredible. I've gotten some shots of the Milky Way and Mars and Venus and a crescent moon. I mean, I've been an amateur astronomer for a very long time. My telescope, I think I bought when Halley's Comet. Is it Halley's or Halley's? Anyway, Halley's Comet came around last time. And so, I mean, I've just always had an interest in astronomy. I bought my first telescope, probably when I was about 6, I guess. And I had to save my allowance. My dad, my parents said that they would give me half, but I had to save half. It was a $100 telescope, and this was back in the late 50s, early 60s, I'm guessing. Came in a mahogany box. It was a refractor telescope, a 4-inch refractor. Beautiful, beautiful telescope. Had felt-lined places. I mean, it was a work of art. You don't see stuff like that anymore. So anyway, I've had an interest in astronomy, and for me to be out here and be able to see the stars like I've been seeing them has just been spectacular. I can't, that's not a strong enough word. So beautiful sunsets, beautiful weather, sky, distant views. I can see the Rockies, Sangre de Cristo Mountains behind me. Alamosa close by, shopping, gas, Walmart. Even got myself a double bacon cheeseburger when I was in town once. Oh, that was good. So those are on the plus side. Negatives are, and it's easy to get to. The road is well maintained. It's probably, I'm going to guess maybe mile and a half off the road to this campsite, maybe 2 miles to the one behind me. Let's call it 1 mile to the one down here. So it's easy to get to. I've seen a good cross-section of rigs come through here, mostly trailers. I haven't seen any Class A's, but I don't know why a Class A couldn't come up this road. I think they could. Oh, that sunset is just gorgeous. I'm going to turn you again. Sorry. Oh, it really doesn't do it justice. Let me see if I can get you in a little closer and take some of that light out. I look at that. Let me get it right about there, maybe a little brighter. The dynamic range on a camera is not as good as a human eye, so you're not seeing what I'm seeing, but that's pretty close to what I'm seeing naked eye here. Maybe this probably has a little more impact, a little more of the dynamic range. Accuracy, and I don't think I can get any closer than that. I've got my wide angle lens on. Isn't that gorgeous? And the clouds, as they change colors, take on the hues of the setting sun, and I don't know. So anyway, I've found that to be rather spectacular and a very much a positive attribute of this campsite. Sorry. Adjusting all my camera angles and stuff. I'm not a professional, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night. Does anybody recognize that? Anyway, detractors are It's busy, crowds. Alamosa's close. It's a fairly big town, so a lot of people come here and camp, and they'll camp right next to you. They'll camp on your doorstep. Flies and busy campers. Dusty, a little dusty, windy, so be prepared for that. But easy to get to. Big campsites, free, beautiful stars, skies, sunsets, storms over Blanca Peak. I understand that there's some wonderful camping and hiking up behind me in Blanca Peak. I used to backpack a lot, but I think I could probably do it. I'm in pretty good health, but I don't know. My interest, I think, has waned. Just the idea of lugging a bunch of weight up the side of a mountain when I've got my nice little comfortable, cozy bed right here and electricity and all that stuff. So I don't do much of the hiking, but there's a lot of people that do. And this is one of the 14ers, the 14,000 plus foot peaks. And so there's a lot of hiker camper traffic that comes up that way. And you'll see the side of the mountain peppered with vehicles of people that drive up there in their SUVs, park them, and then hike the rest of the way up to Como Lake, I guess, is really beautiful. And there's some creeks and streams up there. So I would give this a thumbs up. I would give it probably 4 stars, simply because of the crowds and the flies. The crowd's probably the biggest detractor for me. I mean, if you don't mind having people camp right on your doorstep, and you can hear them talk, you can understand their conversations, not just hear talking. So it's just, I don't know, for me it was a little close. But if that doesn't bother you, this could be a 5-star for you, maybe. I don't know. The flies are still a detractor, and the dust. Okay, so that's my review of Lake Como Road near Blanca, Colorado. Camped at the base of Blanca Peak, and I'm in the middle campground. Great place. I'll try and get some pictures up. I'm going to probably put this on freecampsites.net and do a review there as well, and probably link back to this video. So, yeah, check it out. I liked it. All right. Is there anything else I need to tell you? Weather's been perfect. Like mid-70s during the day. Today it was 82. It was on the warm side, but I actually stayed and waited for that. In the mid to low 40s at night. It's been comfortable. I've been really comfortable here weather-wise. I'm in my shorts and so. All right, guys. I think that's it. Later.